Visit astlessons.com for lyrics and chords, sheet music, tablatures, useful links, and much more.
Hi, so this is Robert from AST Lessons, and today I will show you how to play Walk Away with Ben Harper. In this video I'll divide it into two parts, starting with the intro, verses and choruses, and after that I will cover the stick, which is a bit different. Now the song is quite easy and repetitive, so some of you can probably pick it up from just watching demonstrations. But for those who want more explaining and a slower pace, I will also break it down in the walkthroughs. Okay, so for the plucking, we use the same pattern through the entire song, and one round sounds like this. So it's always twice on the bass note, followed by the G and B string, also played twice. And if we slow it down and count the rhythm, it looks like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And then for the chords, I will give you two alternatives for the fingering, starting with how I play it in the demonstrations. So first off is a G5, middle finger, ring finger. And then for the rest of the chords, we leave the ring finger, 3rd fret B string, and just change the bass note. First the F sharp, then to E, and after that back to F sharp again, but this time starting with the hammer on. And then for the choruses, we also have a C bass note. To B. To an A. So basically, the middle finger covers the 3rd fret, and the index finger covers the 2nd. And then the other way, which is how he plays it, is to have the little finger as an anchor instead, and then let the ring finger cover the 3rd fret, and the middle finger the 2nd, which means the chords now looks like this. G5, F sharp bass note, E, C, B, and A. So we can call these four the first chord sequence, which is used in the intro, verses, and last rows of chorus 3. In the intro, we play 2 rounds, with a short pause after the second hammer-on. And for the 3 verses, we played 4 full rounds, without alterations. And then for the second chord sequence, we play exactly the same on chords 1 and 2, which means 2 rows of these 4 chords. And then on the third row, we change the G5 to an F-sharp bass note with the hammer-on. And for chorus 3, which is a bit different, we instead play 3 rounds ending with the G5, and then the round ending with an F-sharp, and once again with the hammer-on. And lastly, we play like a verse, but with chorus-like lyrics. So one tip, if you want a cleaner sound, is to silence the A string when you go back to the E string. By doing this, you won't have the A note ringing, clashing with the new bass notes. The way I do it is to, for example, from the A to G, fold the middle finger slightly over the A string. And same goes for the last chord of the chorus. And the other way around, when you go from the E to A string, you can also fold the thumb to stop incidental sounds when releasing. And then another tip, if you have trouble with the rhythm, I recommend using a metronome and to slow it way down. And it's easier to hear if you use either 4 or 8 clicks per bar instead of just 2. Alright, so for this part we still play the same pattern, but we have some new chords and a twist and the chord changing. So we start with an A minor, but the tricky thing is that we use the last pluck to change chord. And after that comes E minor, which I play like this, but you can also use this fingering. And also, since we don't play the A and D string, we actually don't need to hold the chord. But once again, if you want a clean sound when changing chords, we get at least stop the A string. And the way I do it is to quickly put the E minor shape over the strings as I hit the first bass note, and then immediately prepare for the next chord, like this. Then next is a G5 with the same two options as before. For this part, I use this fingering. So it's like this. After that, we have a D with an F sharp bass note, which I play like this. And then we end around with an open pluck. So it's like this. Now when he plays it live, he uses this fingering. But you can also either play it like this, or this. So for the last three chords, you might want to try your own combination of fingering, since what feels best for me might not work best for you. So these four chords is played for 3 rounds. And then on the 4th round, we skip the G5 and play D with an F sharp bass note for the last 2 bars. After that, before going to verse 3, we play 1 round of the first chord sequence. And since we don't have time to switch fingering in the end of round 4, I use this variation, so the ring finger is back in place. Now for some, it might be confusing to change chords like that. So as for alternatives, you can either try changing on the next round, like this. However, this might be even harder. So you can also end with an open pluck on all the chords. And then for a last tip that applies to all the variations, is to first just touch and hover the A minor, and not press it down until it's time to play the G and B string. Because what might happen otherwise is that we get accidental hammer-ons. So lastly, I just want to clarify the tuning of the album version, because if you try to play along, it doesn't quite fit in with the recording. And the reason for this is that they tune all the strings just a bit sharp, in other words, slightly higher, but it's still within range of regular tuning. So that was all for this video, but if you have any questions, just leave a comment.